morning or afternoon. It was more than 2,500 years ago that a human being who came to be known as the historical Buddha said, there's only one way to reduce one's fear, sense of dissatisfaction, and the illusion of separateness. And he said, the only way to do this is to know that you are breathing. And this, I think, is the starting point of what I want to talk about in this talk of how to be an emotional Jedi. Right? How to be an emotional Jedi starts with knowing that you are breathing. Let's try it. In this room, and it's challenging in a room with a lot of movement and coming and going, but I want to suggest just for a few moments, see if you can bring your attention to the fact that you are breathing. Noticing especially the inhale and the exhale. As you exhale, see if you can let go of everything. Let go of all of your concerns about right and wrong. And then imagine being surprised with the next inhale and that, oh, I'm here. So this, I think, is the starting point to getting in touch with our emotions, and the starting point of this practice that I think of as mindfulness-based emotional intelligence. And it's interesting that the word mindfulness, as it's translated from a word, the Pali word sati, that literally means to remember. So to remember that we are here, to remember that we're alive. Imagine being able to be in touch with your body and mind and emotions right in the midst of challenges and difficulties, business decisions, relationship issues, difficulties, impermanence. Finding a way to be present, to be here, to be in touch with your breath. But I think that you need to have an experience of this. For me, my experience of these kinds of practices started when I took a 1-year leave of absence from college and walked into the San Francisco Zen Center and ended up spending 10 years there. My parents were not thrilled about this, as you might imagine. And much to my surprise, I ended up having a variety of leadership experiences there. First, I found myself running a Zen monastery kitchen. And this was a lot like a commercial kitchen in terms of the stresses, in terms of the challenges, things going wrong, people working together to produce great meals. But the difference was that there was a sense of practice. There was a sense that we were there to not just produce great food. In fact, we were primarily there to grow people, to grow ourselves. And with that focus, that sense of knowing ourselves and going beyond ourselves, we were able to also produce great results, great food. And interesting for me that about 20 years later, after that experience of the Zen monastery kitchen, I found myself teaching mindfulness and meditation programs and emotional intelligence programs at Google. And I helped develop a program called Search Inside Yourself, which is now being spread in Google and in companies all around the world. And as part of that program, a variety of practices emerged when we were trying to scale the work in Google and wanted to train a variety of Google teachers in how to be mindfulness teachers. And I'm just going to briefly mention what these practices are, and then I'm actually going to have you all do some work with each other. So the practices that emerged out of working with Google engineers and training them to be mindfulness teachers are these 7 practices. And the practices are: love the work, do the work, don't be an expert, connect to your pain, connect to the pain of others, depend on others, and keep making it simpler. So these are practices that start with being in touch with your body, being in touch with the breath, and then these are ways to take practices into your life, into your work, into your relationships, and all parts of your life. Love the work means to love the work of self-awareness, to love the work of knowing yourself and going beyond yourself. Doing the work means to actually have some kind of a practice, to have a meditation practice, a mindfulness practice, to do retreats, to do the challenging self-care of being able to step out of your day-to-day life. Don't be an expert is a really interesting one in today's world especially. It means letting go of being right. It means opening yourself to the wonder of human beings, of life, of relationships. We can be experts in certain kinds of disciplines, but we're not experts when it comes to relationships and opening one's heart. Connect to your pain means don't avoid what's difficult. Open yourself up to whether it's the difficulty and challenges of work, or the difficulties and challenges of relationship, or of just being a human being, to be open. Connect to the pain of others is this really potent practice of empathy. Depending on others is don't get too hung up on going at it alone. Find ways to listen. Find ways to coach, to mentor, to be coached, to be mentored. And keep making it simpler. Really difficult practice in today's world. But it's the practice of having a different relationship with your problems, to not push problems away, but to develop a kind of acceptance. And also to keep coming back to what is most important. What is the most important thing right now in your life? Okay, could everybody stand up, please? Everyone stand up. And very quickly and very quietly, find a partner. You can turn to the person next to you or not, but no talking yet. Just quietly, quickly, find a partner and have a seat, and I'll give you some instructions. If you need a partner, raise your hand so you can find each other. Okay. Look around, find someone. If you're 3, that's okay. Here's what we're going to do. There's going to be a person A, and there's going to be a person B. Person A is going to be the person with the shortest hair in your partner. Shortest hair, you have a short-haired person and a long-haired person. Okay, so now we know person A, person B. Person A is going to speak, and person B is just going to listen for a minute and a half, a whole minute and a half of just listening without interrupting, without asking questions. So we're, in a way, one of the things that holds all these practices together, and mindfulness practice and emotional intelligence, is listening, something that there doesn't seem to be enough of in today's world, especially in the business world, I've noticed. So the suggested topic is complete the sentence, what surprises me about my life right now is. What surprises me about my life right now is. Okay? Or, other topic is anything you want to talk about. Because this is a rare event that you're going to have someone's full attention for a whole minute and a half. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. In a minute, I'm going to say, go. Short-haired person, you're going to speak. Long-haired person, you're going to listen. And then I'm going to ring a bell in a minute and a half, and we'll switch. Okay? Short-haired person, you're speaking. Long-haired person, you're listening. What surprises me about my life right now? Go ahead. Okay, bringing the speaking to a close. Excellent. Let's all just take a breath together. And long-haired person, you're now speaking. You've got a minute and a half. Go ahead. And bringing it to a close. And stay with your partner. And just have a very brief back and forth with your partner. What did you notice? What was it like? What was it like to speak without being interrupted? What was it like to listen? So for a minute with your partner, go ahead. What was your experience? And thanking your partner. And come on back to the room. Come on back to being here. So I'm curious if, did anyone make a new best friend doing that? So the title, the very somewhat aspirational title to this talk is How to Be an Emotional Jedi. And a Jedi is someone who is at one with the Force. And to me, it's the force of your breath. It's the force of your attention, being at one with your attention, and being at one with what the other person is saying and feeling and doing, to cultivate this sense of oneness with your breath, with your body, and bringing that in to our work, our challenges, our leadership, and to all parts of our lives. And may the Force be with you.
Well done. We got all that done very quickly. We're going to do one question from the audience, which is, as a leader or decision maker, how can I balance between mindfulness of present and planning for the uncertain future?
Great question. One of my favorite topics, right? People, on the one hand, mindfulness means being in the present moment, but it also means planning right in the present moment. One of my favorite topics is what I think of as creative gaps, which are the gaps between what is, where you are right now, and being clear about where you want to be, what your uncertain future might be. And these are both, I think, really interesting mindfulness and emotional intelligence skills. It's being real and clear as you can about where you are, what is. And this can be, from what the revenue is of your business, what the programs are, or that you need to develop better listening skills or more courage. Where the what is and the where you want to be. And staying with that space, staying with that discomfort of that gap between what is and what you envision might be the most important skill in business and leadership and in our lives.
And the next question is, for these folks, how do you become more present every day?
Keep coming back. Even one of the question that I'm asked most often by Google engineers is, what is the least amount I can meditate and have it make a difference? And after a while, I found that the right answer, or the answer that I started giving to that question, was one breath. One breath each day with full awareness can make a big difference in your life. So I would start there. Just start. And it's harder than it seems. So at the end of the day, check in and see if you've actually done it, if you've actually stopped and been aware of one full breath during the day. Try it.
Thank you, Marc.
Thank you.